The earth is warming and places are burning. The water is rising and cities are flooding. The air isn't even safe to breathe in certain areas. My name is Aaliyah Meckley, and today I'm going to be talking about climate change, an issue that has been ongoing since the mid-1800s. I've learned about climate change in the past, and I know a lot about it, but recently in my environmental science class, we've been touching on this topic, so I've been able to gain some more knowledge. So today I'm going to be talking about what climate change is and how it affects humans, animals, and ecosystems. Slide, please. First, I'm going to explain what climate change is and how it affects humans. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. This can be natural from volcanic eruptions or from changes in the sun's activity. Otherwise, it can come from humans, like burning fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas. Each of those examples generate greenhouse gas emissions. The most common greenhouse gas emissions are carbon dioxide and methane. The more climate change we have, the more challenging it will be to live every day because climate change causes droughts, severe fires, rising sea levels, flooding, declining biodiversity, melting polar ice, and so much more. Slide. The United Nations, an international organization that maintains international peace and security, said that some climate scientists found that humans are responsible for all global heating for the past 200 years. Some other human activities that have increased climate change are driving cars, cutting down forests, littering and filling landfills, powering buildings, and agriculture, oil, and gas operations. Slide. Humans may be a leading cause of climate change, but it does affect us in many different ways. It affects our ability to grow food, find and build housing, and it affects our jobs, health, and our safety. Due to climate change, there is an increased risk of illness due to heat waves, poor air quality, storms, and floods. And it can also cause mental health issues such as PTSD and depression. Natural disasters can disrupt the shipment of supplies, making it hard to build houses as well as destroying houses, which can lead to homelessness. Some communities near the ocean have to uproot their lives due to rising sea levels and have to move. Now that we have an understanding of what climate change is and how it affects humans, we'll move on to how it affects polar bears, bumblebees, and whales. Slide. Climate change affects all wildlife, and the International Fund for Animal Welfare gave me a lot of information about it. Polar bears are vulnerable to becoming endangered due to climate change. Jonathan Bamber, a British physicist known for his work in polar regions, said that the Arctic is warming 2.5 times faster than the global temperature average in a PBS NewsHour article called "The Arctic is Warming Nearly 4 Times Faster Than the Rest of the World" from August 2022. The warming is causing the ice that polar bears depend on for traveling, hunting, mating, and resting to melt. This forces them to stay on land and eventually come into contact with humans. This ends up with the human becoming injured, or the polar bear will end up getting killed. And it also forces them to go without food longer and swimming greater distances to get food, otherwise they will starve. Slide. Bumblebees are some of our planet's most important pollinators, and their population has plummeted by 90% since the year 2000. Climate change's rising temperatures forces bumblebees to move to cooler climates, which reduces the amount of pollination and plant life, which is vital for both humans and animals' lives. Extreme rainfall and drought ruin foraging patterns, and floods and wildfires destroy their habitats. Also, rising temperatures causes spring flowers to bloom much earlier, leaving a lot less time for bees to pollinate. Slide. Whales are some of the most important animals for protecting our environment. Not only do they make sure prey don't overpopulate, but they also capture large amounts of carbon dioxide that would otherwise be left in our atmosphere. Whales rely on specific ocean temperatures for migration, feeding, and reproduction. Rising temperatures disrupts each of these, and ultimately their survival becomes threatened. Slide. Since we talked about the effects climate change has on animals, we'll move on to the effects it has on ecosystems. Living things depend on ecosystems for food, water, clean air, and building material. The United States Environmental Protection Agency has found that many things are disrupted due to climate change, and some critical services that ecosystems provide to society are affected. Forest ecosystems play an important role in the carbon cycle because they absorb carbon dioxide from the air for photosynthesis. Drought and heat from climate change makes it a lot more difficult for the trees to absorb as much carbon, which makes it left in the atmosphere. Drought and heat also affect the availability and quality of some foods like cacao, potatoes, rice, and olive oil. Deforestation is a main contributor to climate change because once trees are cut down, all of the carbon that they originally absorbed is then released back into the air. Award-winning environmental activist Elizabeth Watudu witnessed deforestation firsthand and founded the Green Generation Initiative, which has planted over 30,000 trees in Kenya. Watudu said, "This anger then gave me a hunger to do something about global environmental challenges like deforestation and climate change for the sake of humanity's survival." Slide. Climate change causes a major increase in the spread of invasive species. The rising temperatures causes invasive species to move to cooler climates that they don't belong in. Invasive species can lead to the endangerment or extinction of native plants and animals, as well as bringing in new diseases and altering their habitats. Slide. Coral is considered an animal, but it is also some of the world's most rapidly declining species that is extremely important for underwater ecosystems. Coral provides homes for more than a quarter of marine life. Rising temperatures and acidification, which is an increase of carbon dioxide dissolving into the ocean from the atmosphere, are causing mass coral bleaching, disease, and die-offs. Slide. Climate change causes many issues throughout the world that can make the Earth a not so healthy living space. We talked about what climate change is and how it affects humans, animals, and ecosystems. Living in Wisconsin and having it be over 50 degrees in February is really nice, but it's not normal nor good. You can be really happy about the warm weather. You just have to remember it's because the Earth is slowly dying. Thank you for listening.